Listening to Jesus when he warns of Satanism is crucial for every individual, particularly those who claim to follow him. Throughout the New Testament, Jesus constantly reminds his disciples of the presence and schemes of Satan, emphasizing the importance of being aware and vigilant. In today's world, where evil forces are increasingly prevalent, heeding Jesus' warnings is more vital than ever. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus explicitly warns his disciples about the dangers of Satan, stating that the enemy seeks to devour and destroy them. Matthew 13:25-39. He also cautions them about the presence of false prophets and wolves in sheep's clothing who will attempt to lead them astray. Matthew 7:15-10-16. These warnings are not limited to Jesus' disciples, they are applicable to all believers, serving as a reminder of the spiritual warfare that rages around us. Satanism, in its various forms, is a real and present threat to humanity. It can manifest as overt occult practices, such as witchcraft or demon worship, or more subtly as a worldview that opposes God's sovereignty and morality. The Bible warns that Satan is a deceiver, a liar, and a thief who seeks to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10. His ultimate goal is to lead humanity away from God and into eternal darkness. When Jesus warns of Satanism, he is not merely cautioning against a distant threat, he is calling believers to a state of spiritual alertness. To listen to Jesus' warnings is to acknowledge the reality of spiritual warfare and to recognize that we are not immune to Satan's attacks. It is to understand that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil that seek to dominate and destroy. Ephesians 6:12. Heeding Jesus' warnings also empowers believers to resist Satan's schemes. In the book of James, we are reminded that resisting the devil requires submission to God. James 4:7. When we listen to Jesus and heed his warnings, we are better equipped to discern the enemy's tactics and to stand firm against his attacks. We are also reminded of the importance of putting on the armor of God, which includes the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, and the shield of faith. Ephesians 6:13-18. Furthermore, listening to Jesus when he warns of Satanism serves as a reminder of the importance of spiritual discernment. In a world where evil forces often masquerade as good, believers must be able to discern the difference between truth and falsehood. Jesus warns that Satan can disguise himself as an angel of light and that his ministers can appear as ministers of righteousness. 2 Corinthians 11:14-15. To listen to Jesus' warnings is to cultivate a spirit of discernment, which enables us to distinguish between the genuine and the counterfeit. In conclusion, listening to Jesus when he warns of Satanism is essential for every believer. It is a reminder of the spiritual warfare that rages around us and of the importance of being vigilant and aware of the enemy's schemes. By heeding Jesus' warnings, we are empowered to resist Satan's attacks, to discern the difference between truth and falsehood, and to stand firm against the forces of evil. In a world where Satanism is increasingly prevalent, listening to Jesus' warnings is more vital than ever, serving as a beacon of hope and a call to spiritual awakening. As we listen to Jesus and heed his warnings, we are reminded that we are not alone in the battle against Satan. We have a Savior who has already conquered the enemy and who will ultimately triumph over all the forces of darkness.